People, it has been a very busy time in the courtrooms of the hip-hoposphere. We got the O-Block trial that's been going on. We got the Young Thug YSL trial that's been going on. I'm eagerly awaiting the Nardo Wick trial that's going to be going on soon, and my guy is about to probably catch an 8-figure lawsuit by the looks of it. But today is all about Young Thugger, okay, and the Yves Saint Laurent. Apparently, that's what it stands for now. Apparently, the Young Slime Life that is on damn near every single album cover for the past 10 years of this dude's career. Apparently it was all cap. Apparently it was all just a bit of fun. And, yeah, it's actually, you know, apparently Young Thug, oh man, we're just going to get into it, people. Young Thug, apparently everything ain't quite as it seems, okay? So let's get into it and let's have a deep dive into what's been going on with the YSL case. Now, first off, the first thing that I think is hilarious. Now, if anybody remembers this, okay, before we get into that, and unfortunately this is going to be only coming out of one ear. Young Thug, many years ago, okay, he released this song, and I can't play you the actual song, but I'll fly you a little bit of the music video. Young Thug released this song with Gunna and Yak Gotti. I mean, come on, man. How are you going to release a song called Take It to Trial with Gunna, who basically, you know what I'm saying? They say he snitched. Others say he simply, you know what I'm saying, just admitted that the gang is real. But he made a song, Thug and Gunna made a song called Take It to Trial. I believe this one lyric, I might play a little tiny snippet.
Young niggas pulling up Bentleys, Aston Martins, Robbers and Teslas.
Say it, Gunna.
Strapped with an FN.
Say it. There's a bit where he says he's never going to snitch. I ain't trying to get demonetized over this. But anyway, you get the gist. Okay, this song, Take It to Trial, okay. Now look, I'm going to do what they did in the courtroom to Thugger, okay? This song, Take It to Trial by Young Stoner Life, all right? YSL Records. They express their... Let's just read what this song's about with... oh my God. With Genius.com's terrible layout. I can't stand Genius.com. One of the worst website layouts I have ever seen in my entire adult life. Absolute hot garbage, I would say. Let's do this. That'll do. All right. Young Thug, Gunna, and Yak Gotti. This is back in what? 2020, okay? 3 years ago. Let's make a song about taking it to trial, because this will never happen. I don't think this will ever come back to haunt us. Young Thug, Gunna, and Yak Gotti express their disdain for the law on Take It to Trial, the lead single off of the YSL Yves Saint Laurent, I guess, Records collaborative project Slime Language Chew. Oh no, Slime? What, the gang? No, definitely not. The three friends rap one verse each over production. Now, blah, 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 blah. The song is all about taking this shit to mother flipping trial, right? Take this shit to motherfucking trial, okay? Slime Green AP. Slime? What, like the gang? No. Green? What, like the gang, the colour that the gang like? Oh, God. Oh, God, no. It's never going to come back to haunt you doing something like this, is it? Surely not. Surely that would never come back to haunt me. Well, people, day of reckoning has come for young Mr. Jeffrey Williams. He is up in court, on trial. He's taken it to motherfucking trial, and it's not looking good. They're reading this in court, and it's looking absolutely wild. So he has decided to take it to trial, and this is the sort of gem that you can expect to be seeing in this kind of trial.
As the evidence will show, take this shit to motherfucking trial.
She really putting some sauce on it. I ain't gonna cap. She really putting the sauce on it. I would say, like, she's been waiting. She's probably been playing this song in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Spinning this track, just waiting for that moment to get in court. Take this shit to motherfucking trial. I wish I was one of the lawyers in this case, man. I would be up there repping all of it. I would rep the entire verse. Worth a couple $100 million, no thousand, this bitch. Like, doing the whole thing. I wouldn't be surprised. I should become a lawyer, man. If all it took to become a lawyer was to know Young Thug lyrics and to be able to deliver them in court with sauce, I would be goddamn Johnny Cochran.
As the evidence will show, take this shit to motherfucking trial. I rep my life for real. For slimes, you know I kill. Trial, I done beat it twice, Kendricks. I'm undefeated, like feds came and snatched me. I don't know, no point in asking. I was on what? Believe it.
Bro, she's been waiting her whole life for this, bro. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the kind of boring cases? Like, she has worked her whole career from from being a court, probably being like the lowest level in the court, you know, defending traffic tickets, speeding tickets, all kinds of shit, and everything in her life has led up to this moment where she can say, take it to motherfucking trial on goddamn Cleveland Avenue. It's not looking good for Thugger, if I'm honest with you people. So let's just run through. I believe this was the first day of this week's trial. And it kind of started out with the let's get all the way to the top. Let's get to this whole thing. Day one, the opening statement. So they found a missing juror. The court invoked the rule of sequestration, which means that anybody who is expected to take the witness stand is not allowed to listen to opening statements or other witness testimony, except with the exception of the family of the defendants. Now, immediately, multiple attorneys have objections. So maybe he's got Drake's lawyer. Maybe he put in a word to the sixth god and got objection, because apparently they're making hella objections, and the bench is crowded. You know what I'm saying? There's so many parties in the courtroom. It's looking like a goddamn YSL slime party in the courtroom. It sounds like it's a bit of a mess, okay? There's not enough space for everybody in there so that everybody can listen. Jurors can't hear. It's all a bit of a mess. But the state begins with their opening statement, okay? And I think, like I say, this chick, okay, was it Ada Love, who is the prosecutor, I believe, on this case, or is prosecuting on behalf of the state, okay? She is making it very clear she is here today to prove that YSL is a criminal street gang made up of the defendants here today. Mr. Young Thugger, a.k.a. Mr. Take This to Trial, a.k.a. Mr. On Cleveland. She wasted her breath, bro. This ain't a great way to start out, bro. She quoting from the Jungle Book. This isn't a compilation album, bro. This isn't a Disney greatest hits compilation courtroom tape, bro. She's out here rapping Thug's bars. Anyway, apparently Thug's lawyer, right, Mr. Steele, Mr. Blue Steel, he's putting in work, okay? He's got objections left and right, okay? He declares motion for a mistrial from the very start. Apparently, the evidence was on screen was already excluded by the judge, and this was a violation of a court order. Now, this is a reach, but this is what is going down in the courtroom.
2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, ordered parties to share all of their displays, an opening statement to the others, so we don't have to have these interruptions. I did that. The state shared.
I'll turn this up.
4 attachments. That's all they had. That's what I got. What you just saw on your screen, if you don't remember, I'll ask the state to put it up, and I asked for it to be marked. Exhibit is what you already excluded. It states that Mr. Ryan was weak.
So look, apparently accidentally stuff has been shown on the screen that had already been excluded from the trial, and Thugger's lawyer is pissed, or at least he has to perform as if he is pissed to look like he is putting in work, because you know for a fact that Young Thug, is going to be paying very, very top dollar for this defense.
So what's your objection based upon, Mr. Steele? That I did.
Objection.
So look, Thug's lawyer is pissed, basically. Something's popped up on the screen that was apparently excluded from the trial. He's given it the big un because you know that he wants that big boy invoice to be paid by YSL Records, you know what I'm saying, Yves Saint Laurent Records. And the motion for a mistrial was duly denied by the judge. He's told the jury, disregard what we showed up on the screen, whatever it was, we don't really care, it's probably a mistake. Ain't that big of a deal, but Thugger better pay that invoice, basically, because you know he's been paying top dog. And now we can actually see, amazing, here it is. So, the evidence that was shown was said that Thug's lawyer, Steele, represented Lil Rod in an appeal, which is apparently not true. Additionally, pre-trial, a motion from Steele was granted that the state would not be allowed to mention that he represented anyone previously except for Thug. So this was a violation of that. So just showing this up was a violation. And that's like a little, you know what I'm saying?
Your Honor.
That's like a little It's nothing, basically, but they're really clutching at straws. Any straws that they can get hold of, they got to try and make sure that he is getting that invoice paid by Thugger and his label, because, you know what I'm saying, this is a deluxe bag for my man.
Last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, you ordered the parties to share all of their displays in opening statement to the others so we don't have to have these interruptions. I did that. The state shared with me 4 attachments. That's all they had. That's what I got. What you just saw on your screen, if you don't remember, I'll ask the state to put it up and I asked for it to be marked as exhibit, is what you already excluded. It states that Mr. Ryan was convicted of murder and I represent the co-defendant who's not on trial on the appeal. How did that not get sent to me so I could bring it to the Honorable Court's attention? 1. And 2, how do we just violate court orders? So, yes, I have a serious motion for a mistrial because it's intentional misconduct. That's my motion.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take your motion for a mistrial. It's a beautiful motion. It's a lovely motion. And we're going to put it right up here on the courtroom, on the lunchroom fridge, for all of the jurors to see what a big boy putting your little mistrial motion together was. We do not care, good sir. No. But make sure that invoice gets sent into Young Thug and his label. I'm going to make this a bit bigger so everyone can see this even more. I want to see more. All right. So, the court orders the state once again to share everything they're using in the opening statement with the defense before they come back after lunch. Okay, nobody's happy. Apparently, the trial got off on a very sloppy start. Okay, so there's apparently another sustained objection during the state's opening argument, where basically, they're kicking off from the word go. My guy, Thug's lawyer, is basically trying to make it like everything, just trying to shut everything down at every opportunity. And there's been a lot of confusion, and apparently the judge is pissed. Okay, the judge is not really enjoying this. Apparently the judge then went on to exclude all PowerPoints. No PowerPoints will be allowed. Okay, we're going back to the Stone Age. We're going back to the 1980s. Okay, if it ain't on an Excel spreadsheet, we're not showing it. Okay, so PowerPoints have been excluded. No PowerPoints, no Canva. You know what I'm saying? No Apple. What's the Apple version of PowerPoint? No one even cares. But the defense lawyers object to this, right? Because it's like, when they kicked off and said, oh, you can't show all of this stuff. Oh my God, you're showing a bunch of stuff that was excluded. So the judges said, all right, fuck that then. No PowerPoints. And then the defense lawyers are saying, whoa. We spent quite a while on our PowerPoints. And so now the judge is reconsidering his ruling. Okay, judge reconsiders his ruling. Apparently, PowerPoints are allowed once again. So PowerPoints are back in. Fire up the Canva. Fire up all of that stuff. It is a mess from the word go. Okay, and bear in mind, look, people, I'm reading this for the first time. We're really drilling deep into everything that happened on the first day of the Thugger trial, and shit is crazy. Okay, the state is going one by one with the 6 defendants and summarizing what they're accused of and how their actions are related to each other, what each person did. Blah de blah de blah. Blah de blah de blah. Then she reads the take these shit to motherfucking trial lyrics, which we're just going to run again. We're going to wheel it up because it's such a banger.
As the evidence will show, take this shit to motherfucking trial.
Bruh, she said that with chest, bro. She said that with chest. Motherfucking trial. She could have said mother effing. But you know what I'm saying? She's trying to get those jurors lit. This might have the reverse effect, because before you know it, the jurors are going to be jumping up, dancing like Gunna in this goddamn music video. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to be going down. So anyway, yada, yada, yada. The state finally wrapped up their opening statement and asked the jury to take careful notes. Oop. Getting them to anticipate that witnesses will likely change their statements and want to not remember events. 10-minute break, and then it was the defense's turn. Each defense team, there's 6, okay? So I believe there's 6 defendants in the case. That's 6 defenders, and that's 6 big fat invoices, I would assume, that are being paid. They've got the option to make an opening statement or wait until the case finishes their piece. So, the defense opening statements. I need to break this down step by step because I'm not 100% familiar. So Max Starr is representing Shannon Stillwell, aka SB. This is the man who is accused of being the actual trigger man in Donovan Thomas's murder. Who, if you didn't know, Donovan Thomas, aka Big Nut, he was a gentleman who was associated with Young Thug's biggest op, YFN Lucci from Atlanta. I believe he was killed in 2015. The rumor that I heard, which I did put into a documentary probably a couple of years ago now, was that essentially there was a rumor that the Big Nut who Young Thug once described as the biggest blood in America, had done some sort of business with Thugger and Birdman, and something had gone on behind the scenes where Big Nut had apparently not paid someone or run off with a pack, or there was all these sorts of rumors, and that Big Nut was essentially slimed out by the YSL, you know what I'm saying, for being involved in some nefarious activities with the Slime Lords and the Bloods. So this individual, Shannon Stillwell, who, aka SB, is accused of being the actual shooter of Big Nut. Okay, so his lawyer is arguing that SB's past convictions of drug dealing were about making money. Going on here, were about making money for himself, not for a bigger organization, which is the basis of the RICO. He also argues that all of the state's key witnesses only became involved in this case once they were already in jail, suggesting that they were offered deals to leave the terrible conditions of Fulton County Jail in exchange for testimony and statements. And that is the end of day one. But, oopsie. But people, do not fear, your boy has got you locked and loaded with day mother flipping 2. Okay, Young Thug and YSL. Shout out to Thugger Daily. I'm not even following my man. Shout out to Thugger Daily, man. You know what I'm saying? When Thugger does get convicted, Thugger Daily, your career will live on, keeping us updated on what flavor of ramen he has decided to consume that particular day. But it's not looking good for Thug. I actually don't know if it's not looking good. We're going to find out together. Okay, opening statement by Brian Steele. He looks stressed. He's thinking, bro, I hope this guy can pay that invoice, because these streaming numbers probably... Thugger's streaming numbers have probably increased while this has been going on, actually. But anyway, Steele is going over Thug's upbringing. He mentions that he idolized Lil Wayne. Didn't he try to kill Lil Wayne? Oh, hopefully we don't mention that in the trial. And Tupac, who was shot and murdered trying to emulate them. Not a great idea. Maybe don't emulate Tupac. He embraced a gangster persona with, quote, Young Thug, because that's what sold. As he gained local popularity, everyone, including gangs from the area, aka Believeland, embraced him. And it worked. It's unbelievable in the sense that I hope that the jury do not believe what they're saying. Why is that so quiet? We're not hearing that, are we? We hearing that? I don't think we're hearing that, are we? Hearing that? Why aren't y'all hearing that? Why ain't that coming through clear for the gang? And now I'm out of focus. It's all falling apart. No sound? How is this not working? Sound? Alright, here we go. Here's how I'm going to switch it up. I'll switch them up.
Danny Glover and Lifestyle. 2013.
We're hearing that now.
2014. Jeffrey.
There we go. There we go. Alright, we're cooking. We're cooking gasoline now. Alright, wait. I'm going to fix this though. I'll make it sound better. Mad quiet.
It's unbelievable. 2013, 2014. Jeffrey's now 22, 23. It's unbelievable.
Here we go.
He has 3. 2013, 2014. Jeffrey's now 22, 23. It's unbelievable. He has 3 hit songs that are going around the world. Stoner, Danny Glover, and Lifestyle. He is making music videos professionally. He is working with some of the biggest artists in hip-hop. It worked. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. He is making songs. He is traveling the world. He's linking up with Birdman. He is making deals with the biggest blood in America and getting snakes and killing him. Wait, disregard the last one. Disregard the last one. Let's forget that last one that actually happened. Allegedly. Jeffrey is so talented. He doesn't only do gangster rap. He has hits in country music, pop music, Latin music. He has hits of rival gang members that... Wait a minute. No, that I wasn't supposed to say that bit out loud. Afro beats. He's been featured on NPR Tiny Desk. He's played SNL, Jimmy Fallon. He's not a creator. He's pulling people out of poverty with this guy with this much talent. Would he slime somebody out?
You will learn that Jeffrey doesn't even know most of the people in this indictment. He doesn't know them. They all know him because everybody in that area knows Jeffrey Williams.
It's convenient, isn't it? He doesn't even know most of the people. He doesn't know any of these people. You know, he doesn't even know the victim, the guy that got killed. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's a video of them both on Birdman's boat calling him the biggest blood in America. Doesn't even know him. He knew he was the biggest blood, so it's not a good look. 10 years ago, Jeffrey was arrested for having a stolen gun. He said that gun wasn't his, and the case was dropped. Well, he said it wasn't him, and the case was dropped. So look, 10 years ago, he was caught with a stolen gun, and he said it wasn't his. So how could possibly 10 years... In 10 years, he could have possibly committed another crime. How? How could anybody commit a crime in a 10-year period after... sloppily explaining away an earlier crime? No chance, Steele. I'm not buying it, to be honest. I'm not buying his defense whatsoever. Steele is going over the major overt acts Thug is accused of and casting doubt on the credibility of the witnesses associated with him. Steele introduces notorious snitch YSL Woody and attempts to discredit him. This might come through too loud, so hold tight.
There's a man named Kenneth Copeland. He goes by Woody. And Kenneth Copeland is not friends with Jeffrey Williams. He uses Jeffrey Williams, just like a lot of people. Because Kenneth Copeland wants to be famous and have money. So he leeches on to Jeffrey Williams about a year before that. Well, Kenneth Copeland is a criminal. He is a notorious criminal. In fact, you will learn that he was ranked one of the 10 most violent people in Georgia by the federal prosecutor here in Atlanta.
So?
That is Kenneth Copeland.
So?
And there's a...
So what? I don't know. Let me see if I can switch. If the audio stops working, you tell me. All right, hold up. Hold up. Why can't I scroll now? I see what happened. Interestingly, despite how hard Steele is trying to impeach Woody's credibility for his upcoming testimony, over the course of pre-trial, Woody has heavily implied that he won't be cooperating on social media. Time will tell. So, next, they go over social media posts that were used as overt acts under the RICO charge, so let's have a look at these. So, this was November the 3rd, 2014 image of Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, an associate with YSL, did pose for a photo released on social media wearing red clothing, Bloods, and flashing a YSL hand gang sign, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, I would say that might be a little bit of a reach. That might be a slight reach. Defendants Dame Keon Garlington, Jeffrey Williams, associates of YSL, did pose for a photo on Garlington's Instagram account with the caption, "We ain't going back and forth." Now, that one's a bit incriminating, because I believe this wasn't long before Big Nut got killed. What's that, January 3rd, 2015? What was the death date of Big Nut? What was the death date? When did Big Donovan Thomas get killed? Was this the one? I can't open the link. What was the date? May. When was he killed? I need the date. Man, Google is truly trash sometimes. Google is truly trash. I did this video and I ain't got the info. It just says 2015. I need the date. I need the exact date of the murder. On 1/10/15. Wait a minute. 1/10/15. Now, I assume this is the American format. So are they saying that Big Nut got killed 7 days? 7 days after this, we ain't going back and forth? That wouldn't be a good look if that's what happened. Was that the date? Was that the date that Big Nut got killed? I need to find the original Donovan Thomas obituary. Yeah, it was. Oh no. So that look, this suddenly is more incriminating, right? I've never seen this. So this I didn't cover this in my documentary. So look, here you go. I think it was 7 days before. We ain't going back and forth. And then this happens.
And one of the victims is a teenager. The shooting happened outside a barber shop, and tonight one victim is clinging to life. Channel 2's Jessica Jaglois is live at the scene where there's still a very heavy police presence. Jessica.
As you can see behind me, there is still quite the active scene here.
I'll keep it real with you. I've never actually seen this footage of the Big Nut shooting, so we might have to run this one.
In southwest Atlanta, McDaniel Street is still closed, and it has been for more than 3 hours. That's because there are shell casings up and down the street. Now, I'm told one of the men who was shot, a man in his mid-20s, is in critical condition, but that his status could change for the worse overnight.
It appears that they were the intended target, but again, we're not sure the reason of the shooting.
Atlanta police are investigating why 2 men in their mid-20s and a 14-year-old boy were shot outside of a barber shop in southwest Atlanta Saturday night.
Right now, it doesn't appear that they had anything connection to the business. They were just kind of hanging out, is what we appear.
Investigators say it appears to have been a drive-by shooting, and according to several witnesses we spoke with, an automatic weapon was used.
Heard something like a semi-automatic or something. And I came running to the front of the gate because my Uncle Sammy be hanging.
Sugar Thomas is one of dozens of residents who weren't allowed into their apartments while police investigated. K-9 units were used to locate additional shell casings and other evidence.
30 minutes, next be 45 minutes, then somebody said be 4 more hours. Really? I gotta go work in the morning. We praying for the people that got shot. Other than that, we gotta get in the house though.
Now, we're going to continue to monitor that victim's condition, and we will bring you updates if we get them during this newscast and tomorrow on Channel 2 Action News Sunday AM. Reporting live in Southwest Atlanta, I'm Jessica Jaglois, Channel 2 Action News Night.
So that was mere days after a social media post saying we ain't going back and forth. Now, that don't mean nothing. That don't necessarily mean anything. But, you know what I'm saying? Could mean something.
He goes by Woody. And Kenneth Copeland is not friends with Jeffrey Williams. He uses Jeffrey Williams, just like a lot of people. Because Kenneth Copeland wants to be famous and have money. So he leeches on to Jeffrey Williams. About a year before.
He leeches onto Jeffrey Williams. He just wants to have money out of Jeffrey Williams, unlike myself. Hope that invoice gets paid.
Well, Kenneth Copeland is a criminal. He is a notorious criminal. In fact, you will learn that he was ranked one of the 10 most violent people in Georgia by the federal prosecutor here in Atlanta. That is Kenneth Copeland. And there's a man.
So, they're discrediting the people involved. The court took a break for lunch in the middle of Steele's opening. He said he needs an hour more after lunch to keep talking. It wasn't a full break. The comfort break. Brian Steele's opening statement is back at it, okay? So look, the state says that Young Thug was throwing up beef bloods, but Steele argues that ain't the B that the bloods throw up all the time. Yes, come on, Steele. He's saying this is a P, and they just released their song Pushin' P. So of all the other times that we've seen Thug throwing up the blood sign, apparently that's a P. That's a big reach. And look, it's all he was just pushing P. This is just on slap business, bro. This is just normal. This is just normal. You know what I'm saying? These are just normal things people do. The state said they will call 0 hip-hop experts in to interpret these lyrics. What they have instead is 5 gang experts. But really, they only have 1 because all of these gang experts are from one jurisdiction. They all work together under the same teachings. So, Brian Steele finishes his opening statement after about 2.5 hours. He addresses every single part of the indictment that mentioned Thug. He also says that in all the wiretaps in the case, Thug's voice is on exactly 0 of them. But people he doesn't even know are always talking about him. We hearing that?
Argument.
We ain't hearing that.
Not trust
We ain't hearing that one.
the criminal justice. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the indictment. It's Jeffrey Williams. That is everything. Jeffrey has been targeted. Jeffrey does not trust the criminal justice system. He spent 10 months to choose you to decide his fate. Jeffrey trusts you.
So is that the end of the day? They're saying Steele's feasting right now. They're saying Big Brian Steele getting a big boy invoice paid off the back of this one, okay? So, now moving into day 3. Now, this is where things get truly surreal. Okay, young, truly humble under God, a.k.a. Thug. Come on, man. Truly humble under God? Truly humble under God, okay. So, look. Now, shout out to Thugger Daily. He got to big himself up first. 20k followers in under a year of this page. Let's go. My guy. Shout out to him. Shout out all of the other guys that are doing 8-hour days in the courtroom. I'm gonna give him a little follow as well. So let's shout out Joseph Papp. Shout out Neon Flag, aka George Sheedy. Now I know about him. He out here for real. And Shadi Abu Said. Okay, big dogs in the courtroom. So first witness, Detective Belknap. Gang expert helping the jury understand what a gang and criminal street organization is. He'll come back later to testify not as a gang expert, but as a detective, because he was involved in the investigation of YSL for nearly a decade. Now, Steele seems to have delivered on his promise to Miss Love and has been objecting heavily to most of her questions and the state's exhibits, but most of his objections have been overruled or shut down by the judge. My guy, Steele, is basically just wasting everybody's time, trying to meddle and get involved and get in the way of what's really going on in this case with a detective who has actually looked into Thug for 10 years, back when he was the Rock Crew, right? Okay? The boys from Cleveland Avenue. The precursor to YSL. You might know this if you've seen my video about it a couple of years ago. He goes over the whole history of YSL, the Rock Crew. He explains their early rivalries with other gangs such as Famerica of Rallo fame and alliances with other gangs such as 30 Deep. Rock Crew was a predecessor for YSL, and there's some nice slides. So, ROC, the Rock Crew, is raised on Cleveland, aka Bleveland, because they're bloods. All right, the Rock Crew, the Young Crew, the Young Loyalty, YL, right? Red bandana, 5-point star. This is all the classic gang stuff, okay? Apparently one of their catchphrases was fuck Crips. I mean, that's not particularly creative, but we understand what it's all about. Sex, money, murder. They're a set of the Bloods. They got the Rock Crew tattoos. Now, this is the kind of juicy content that I would have put in my video had it been available to me, but people want to say Trap Lord Ross is a snitch. But, bro, look at how much info the Feds got. They got gang tags, the 5-point star on the floor. You might not be able to see that. It's the same goddamn... You want to talk about a criminal conspiracy? Right? If you want to talk about criminal conspiracy, look at Birdman's head. Are you kidding? Are you dumb? Criminal conspiracy. Look at the blood tattoo on his head, all right? They're saying they got Cleveland Avenue. Birdman has come straight out of Cleveland Avenue. His head is looking like a sidewalk in Cleveland Avenue, bro. If that ain't enough, why ain't Birdman in the dock? Anyway, they're on lunch break, blah, blah, blah. The gang expert is back, showing off the same stuff. We already seen this. Wipe your nose. And he's got slat written on his hand, if you haven't seen that. That was in my documentary. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is interesting. Gang rule books recovered from the sex, money, murder gang members. Now, I just spotted number 7, no homo. Now, I'll be honest with you. These are more the doodles of a teenager who wishes they were in a gang. This is like the doodles of a note. This is like a school notebook of somebody that's too addicted to Chiracology. What does it say? No punking your damu, disrespecting or downing. Never deny your damu anything in the time of need. Keep hygiene up, always. He's probably having a tough time keeping his hygiene up in jail, man. What does that say? Must read history or revolutionary books. Bro, what the hell? Like, this is their rule book. I ain't never seen this one before. This is crazy. Blood in, never out. Live by your 31 rules. Is this the 31 rules? But the 31st rule, I think, you know what happened here? They wrote rule number 6, thinking that we only had space for 31 rules, and then they got to 31 and they said, well, we can't live by 32 rules because that would contradict rule number 6. So rule 31 is going to be a bunch of rules. Must adhere to the superior or higher ranking. Never speak of your hood to another hood. Never bring trouble to your hood or another Damu hood. Banging is a way of life with a 3 as the E, so you know. Banging is the way of live free. Never drop your flag or $set. Flag. Fuck. Law. Loesch. Fuck law enforcement and government. I don't know what that one is. Fuck law and government, I guess. No blooding under 16. Now that one's actually quite responsible. No female blooding under 18. Look, these guys, at least they're keeping it responsible. Always live at peace and harmony with your Damu. No doing drugs except for weed. That whole pushing Percocets thing probably ain't going to fit in with rule number 16. No homo. That's 17. Rule number 17, no homo. Hey, listen. I don't agree with that personally, man. We need some more progressive gangbangers in the hood. No 999. That's weird because in the UK it's 999. Maybe this is a British Bloods. It should be no 911, no 911s, or snitching. Never discuss Damu business over the phone. Always capitalize B. Okay. Love of money signs or dollar signs? You got to have the dollar sign, the cent sign, money signs for everything. Respect all commands handed up to you. Remember, we always have each other from not back. Something like that. We stand for others no matter what color, race, creed, or situation. Never reveal code 2 to anyone outside the Damu. I see code 2. So you done failed, bro. This is all up in court. Everyone's revealing this. So what else we got? No congregating with Roscoe? Okay. Always give back to your hood and community. Where was that guy in the comments at the start of this live that was saying that I'll keep it real with you. I've not been abiding by number 26. Learn your history, not history. Oh, learn your history, not his story. Read revolutionary book. Bro, these are the ramblings of somebody who's not read many books whatsoever, bro. You need to read a dictionary before you read the revolutionary books, quite frankly. Always try to emerge your family. Okay. Try to remember all blood material. One dog bite equal all dogs fight. Now, that's quite a cool rule. Now, here's rule 31. And let's not forget rule number 6. Live by your 31 rules. So there's a bunch of rules that have all managed to get into rule 31 because we must always respect rule number 6. So any new rules, they all just get added onto rule 31, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? So busters talk about own gangsters. Busters talk about their own. Gangsters hold their own. Busters talk about doing it. Gangsters do it. Busters bang for no reason. Gangsters do it for a cause. This is a bunch of rules. Busters move off emotions. Gangsters move off of intelligence. Busters are who we are not. We're off screen now, right? Gangsters are who we are. Now, that last one is pretty incriminating. Gangsters are who we are. So what else we got? Let's go with some more handwritten. These ones are too small, so I can't see these ones, but that was hilarious. The state's line of questioning is over. The defense's cross-examination of the detective after a 10-minute comfort break. Now, the break happened, something happened, and the judge is pissed. Now, he wasn't going to post about it when he first saw it this morning, but some irresponsible hip-hop pages have circulated a video showing some jurors' faces after the photographer in the courtroom panned too far. I have a hunch this is related to that. Yes, the judge is pissed that the jurors' faces were recorded. No mistrial, but the judge has asked the camera not to be pointed at witnesses for the time being. Once those faces are out there, ain't really much you can do, but hopefully the sound works on this.
Before we go ahead and summon our jurors, I just wanted to pose an inquiry to our members of the media here. Due to some security issues not attributable to anybody in this courtroom or the parties, and the fact that we have
shout out Darius in the chat, man. Appreciate you, my G.
Recording of some of our jurors on the front row, would it be appropriate or okay if you all would not continue to film Detective Belknap? You're welcome to go ahead and do the audio. But is that something that you all would be willing to do, please? Everyone okay with that? Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and call for our jurors at this point in time. And let's summon Detective Belknap, please.
You can't record the jurors, that's an L. Okay, so Detective Belknap, as a gang expert, has finished his testimony. He will come back at a later date with a factual witness to testify in his investigation. The defense has decided to wait until then to cross-examine him, and the jury is sent home for the day. Now, we need another truly humble under God album. Where is that part? I thought that was in this day. Did it not come up? Do I need to click the end? Was there much more to this? This is saying offensive content maybe below. Day 4. Let's take a look at day 4 then. All right, we're nearly there. I want to get to day 5. I want to get through the whole week, and we can do regular updates on this thing, man. He's got his headphones on. I wonder what he's listening to. Probably some truly humble under God. He's probably listening to some YFN Lucci, thinking about the next Get Back. Let's be real. So
Attention that may not necessarily need to. If somebody...
So it kicks off on the next day with the state looking to try and fix up what happened with the jurors' faces being shown. The judge says, let's not draw any attention to it. I mean, I'm drawing a bunch of attention to it now, so that's L.
Reacts because of that attention, then I'll go ahead and deal with the other issues at that point.
But Your Honor, this time we don't know. It's very possible that any of these jurors could have had contact from family members who saw that post, from anyone who may have texted them, inadvertently texted them about this image, and that may impair on their ability to be fair.
I'm just not going to weird them out, and that's the last I'll say about it at this point.
Okay. The state's witness number 2, Melissa Rosser, an administrative employee from an Atlanta adult club, calling herself the club's house mom. Okay, she is a slimy bitch, basically, is what we're saying. She is a slime ball. She is an Atlanta madam, by the sounds of it. She's she's the house mom of an Atlanta adult club. Now, adult club, that's either strip club or brothel. And the fact that it doesn't say strip club leads me to believe brothel, but it's probably a strip club. Anyway, she's testifying about being armed robbed in 2013, 10 years ago. The state asked her if she knew a Trontavious Stevens, aka Slug, the co-founder of YSL, who took a plea in December 2022. She says she does not remember his name at all. After going into detail about the armed robbery from 10 years ago, the state finishes their line of questioning. Now, Brian Steele's co-counsel, Keith Adams, steps up for a cross-examination. Now, got the glasses off and everything. You know he's about to go gloves off, glasses off. Keith Adams hones in on the fact that the witness has no way of knowing what happened to her stolen car in the 6 days between when it was stolen and when it was found, and she was never asked to identify anybody involved. The state does a brief redirect, and the witness is dud. Then the state's witness number 3, Captain Reginald Pettis. His name is found in over Act 1 of the indictment, also being a victim of Slug's armed robbery. The court asked media not to film the witness's face, but we have the audio. So this is basically the part of the case where he was a victim of an armed robbery. Victim of aggravated assault, not a robbery. Slug pointed a gun at a cop in 2013, and this is the cop testifying about it. As part of his plea deal, Slug admitted to committing overt Act 1, and he will eventually be re-questioned about these events. Now, the state finished with direct. Keith Adams is up for cross-examination again. Now, this guy says he's not going to go into depth about this witness testimony since it was uninteresting and not relevant to the defendants in the case, so I don't care about that either. Now, we didn't see much of Keith Adams being a lawyer throughout the 10 months of pre-trial hearing. It was mostly Brian Steele, but apparently juries love this guy. He's throwing up the blood sign too, so maybe he's a blood gang member as well. I can finally see why people say that. Apparently his cross-examination is very concise, clear, and charismatic. She wants him to say dreadlocks so bad. What's this all about?
Did you put in your report the hairstyle of the person that you actually charged with aggravated assault was wearing?
No, I don't need to. I did not describe his hairstyle.
But is it any less true that he had a hairstyle? I mean, it's something.
I stay in the question.
Did he have a hairstyle?
To my recollection, he did.
Was he wearing clothing?
He was.
Was the fact that you didn't put it in your report indicative of the idea that it didn't exist?
Yes, it is. I stay in the question.
Did you put
So Captain Pettis finishes. State witness number 4 comes in after lunch, and they're looking out for Slug to take the stand because that will be very interesting. The next state witness is Jonathan Heeb from the Atlanta Police Department, and the court wouldn't be allowed to film him either. So, excuse me. So that apparently is happening a lot during the trial. And then the state tried to introduce evidence against Shannon Stillwell and multiple other defendants' attorneys who have objected, asking for a limiting instruction from the judge to tell the jury that the evidence only can be used against Stillwell and not their clients. Of course, the state objects to that instruction, so the judge has to make a ruling every time. So we're getting into the weeds of things here now, realistically, okay? So SB pled guilty to a weed charge. Normally, a guilty plea can't be used as evidence against anybody except the person who took the plea. However, the state is trying to use this against somebody else as evidence of a conspiracy, so it's usable for everyone. Now, it's just a weed charge, so, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it was possession of marijuana with an intent to distribute, but Thug's lawyer is objecting to this, saying since he cannot cross-examine SB because SB is the defendant in the case, it violates Thug's constitutional right to confronting a witness. So Thug's not allowed to confront this witness because this witness is apparently also a defendant in this case. So Thug's lawyer is asking for a limiting instruction that the guilty plea can only be considered by the jury against SB himself. But the judge disagrees. Overruled. Your objection is in the garbage. Next witness, number 5, is Atlanta Police Department officer Scott Jimenez. And then witness number 6, Andrew Phillips, the first witness that's talking about something that Thug is actually accused of. The state alleges that Thug had stolen a gun belonging to him in Act 4 of the RICO charge. Now, his face can't be shown either, but Phillips then came back home and found that his home had been broken into and items were missing. One of them was a gun that young Thug was later found in possession of. Now, that's pretty damning. Witness number 7, another police officer, the last witness for day 4. That was day 4, right? The officer that actually pulled over Thug and found the stolen gun in his car. So he won't be allowed to mention that post-arrest, when he asked Thug whose gun it was, he was silent. I mean, that doesn't really say anything, does it? But his face was allowed to be shown here. I guess he's not a public figure, but he is a dude. Anywho, he says when he pulled over Thug in 2013, he found Xannies in plain view in the cup holder and the gun under the passenger seat. He ran the gun and it came back as stolen, and that's where it came from. So, Thug's lawyer steps into the cross-examination arena. He gets the witness to confirm that 2 months passed between the gun being stolen and Thug being found with the gun. He confirms there's no information indicating that Thug was involved in the burglary, and the witness confirms that Thug did not own the car, but the car was not stolen, and there isn't evidence that Thug put the gun under the passenger seat or knew about it. So that gun might not have had anything to do with Thug. That traffic stop was actually recorded. Now, I would love to see the dash cam, because I think isn't that the one that Gunner basically snitched on himself about? But the witness confirmed the video and audio was lost by authorities. I will never see it. That is tragedy. I'd love to see that. But anyway, Steele attempted to introduce evidence that the charges related to this stop were resolved years ago, but the judge said this wasn't the proper witness to introduce the evidence with. He'll try to introduce it with a future witness, and with that, Steele's cross-examination is complete now. We're now on day 5. I don't know if I've got a complete set of information on day 5, but we're going to wrap it up shortly. I think there was a lot of stuff in this day that was quite interesting. So this will be it. I'm gonna wrap it up. I got like 10 more minutes. I'm gonna get off. But Brian Steele filed an appeal as Young Thug's lawyer promised. He quickly appealed to the judge, denying his motion to dismiss. So he's appealing his motion to dismiss the trial. He's trying to expedite the appeal so it will be heard at the same time as the trial. If the judge's decision is overturned, the case would end. So he's basically trying to get the entire thing be dismissed. I think, is he appealing beyond the judge to just end the case? I don't think that's going to happen. Beyond, like, so everybody's asking, like, chances this works? This guy, Thugger Daily, doesn't have any idea, basically. He seemed really excited about this motion. He'd been sitting on it since the beginning of the case, waiting for the jury, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that's going anywhere, personally. But the most explosive things, basically, we'll just run through them quickly. The biggest pile of bullshit.
This. It's on Jeffrey's Instagram account, and the prosecution is targeting. That's Jeffrey taking a selfie in the mirror, and he has his hand up, and the indictment that the prosecution had the grand jury return says he's holding up a blood sign, and that furthers this conspiracy. There's nothing wrong with holding up a blood sign, but that's not a blood sign. A blood sign is like this. It looks like a bee.
There's a bunch of blood signs, dog.
A P. Jeffrey's fingers are down. And what you'll learn is that Jeffrey just released with Sergio Kitchens, performer known as Gunna, a song that is wildly popular. It's around the globe. It's called Pushing P. And it's
pushing Percocets, right?
Positivity.
It's pushing positive. Oh, of course.
Any circumstance you're in, if you think positively about something, you can make it through.
Especially if you're selling Percocets, because that's, I thought Pushing P stood for pushing Percocets, but it's not. So another giant pile of cap. Another giant pile of cap.
So he looked to Tupac. You will learn that in 1983, the incomparable talent Michael Jackson released a song. It went around the globe. P.Y.T. Pretty Young Thing.
Listen, don't talk about Michael Jackson pushing P's and pushing Pretty Young Things, okay? Because like Michael Jackson, he should have been doing 100 to life in jail for fucking around with PYTs. So this is the dumbest argument I ever heard. I can't believe you really said that.
Release the incomparable talent.
The incomparable talent, Michael Jackson.
Jackson released a song. It went around the globe. P.Y.T. Pretty Young Thing.
And Michael Jackson would never commit a crime in his entire career. What is your point?
About 13 years later, Tupac is featured on a song with Smooth. That song is P.Y.T. Playa, P-L-A-Y-A, Young Thugs. And on that song is a repeat of words. And this really connected with Jeffrey. It's a black man that not too many understand. That's what Jeffrey felt about people with nice color skin. Jeffrey had interest in women. But he never considered himself a player. A player to Jeffrey was somebody who had the girls kind of coming at them at all times. Jeffrey wasn't like that. Jeffrey was shy. He was really tall and really skinny. He was malnourished. His teeth were rotten. He was no money to go to a dentist. And all the sugar from the candy that he ate to keep substance in his body right his teeth. So Jeffrey would speak by covering his teeth with his lips, or often speak like this, with his hand or his arm over his teeth, because he had low self-esteem. He was made fun of and bullied growing up. So he got rid of the player. That was not going to work for him. But he kept the young thugs. He got rid of the S, and he became a performer, young thug. And from that day forward, he insisted everybody call him young thug. On every type of tweet, Facebook, social media of any kind, on any records, he refers to himself as young thug. And that fit in to the appearance of the gangster rap. Because most people think about a thug as a criminal. But to Jeffrey, thug had a different meaning. Now, some of you read books about Tupac and what it meant to be thug life. Thug life, the hate you give little infants, F's, everyone. Meaning discrimination and racism hurts all of us.
This is the biggest reach. I swear, I ain't seen a reach this big since goddamn, you know what I'm saying, since goddamn Space Jam, when Michael Jordan or whoever it was is dunking that basketball and reaches about 500 foot to dunk the ball. This is the most ginormous reach I've ever seen in my goddamn life. You can just create an acronym for anything. Oh, thug. He's not really a thug, and the murder that he did is not a real thing. You know, he didn't do a murder. You know, to thug, murder stands for many useful records. Definitely, everyone retarded. Like, bro. Truly humble under God.
We teach that to our kids. That was not what thug meant to Jeffrey.
Oh, no, that's not what thug meant to Jeffrey. And the murders, too, that didn't mean anything to Jeffrey.
Very personal.
He's building up. He knows that he's about to drop an absolute clanger. He knows that he's about to say one of the most dumb things you could possibly say.
It was his path.
It was his path.
He could ever make it.
You know, Michael Jackson with PYT, he would never...
The musical artist. And help his family, himself, and his many others out of this endless cycle of hopelessness. He would be truly humble under God. That's what thug means.
I thought thug stood for truly homosexual, useless gangster. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's just lock him up. Guilty. Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged, people. What's another clanger? These are just ridiculous. Apparently YSL stood for Yves Saint Laurent. Ugh.
Jeffrey
this
is
guy's
so talented in music.
Like a bitch.
He doesn't only do gangster rap. He does rap, gangster rap. He has hits.
He has hits. Donovan Thomas? Wait, no, not that one.
Country music, popular music or pop music, Latin music, Afro, beats. He's been featured on...
Afro? Beats? Tell me you don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about without telling me you don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about.
NPR, Tiny Desk. He's played numerous times on Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Fallon Show. Jeffrey has performed in almost every continent on the earth. He's performed in front of more than 300,000 people that come for him. His social media feed has more than 10 million followers.
You know, he has 10 million followers. He would have to be a complete moron to commit murder and then get caught. He would have to be an absolute idiot. He would have to be a truly humiliating or a totally hilariously useless gangster to really throw it all away like this.
He's not the crazy. He's trying to pull people out of power. Jeffrey has performed with the likes of Rihanna, Ed Sheeran, Sir Elton John, Drake.
I mean, look, you want to say, oh, he's performed with Ed Sheeran, so he can't have possibly committed a crime. I'll literally show you a criminal with Ed Sheeran right now. Like, literally. Like, he's performed with Ed Sheeran, so he can't have possibly committed a crime. Here's Queng Face with Ed Sheeran. That's Peckham rapper Queng Face with Ed Sheeran. Apparently, if you hang out with Ed Sheeran, you can't possibly have committed a crime. Oh, no. Oh, man. Queng Face, Zone 2, got sentenced to 5 years in jail. But, bro, didn't his lawyer think to show them the picture of him with, you know what I'm saying, with him bait-faced with Ed Sheeran? Apparently, if you know Ed Sheeran, you can't, if you know Elton John, you can't possibly have committed a crime.
In music. And Jeffrey didn't only stay in music. He did fashion. He's an icon in fashion. He has been to Paris, to Spain.
Not only could he have done music, but he also has nice clothes, so he couldn't have murdered that
Over
guy.
Europe, at the fashion shows. He has his own clothing lines.
He has his own clothing line. He would never kill anyone.
People are walking around the earth today with Jeffrey's picture tattooed on their calves, on their shoulders. They have his lyrics on their bodies. YSL,
So?
when Jeffrey was coming up and making it, Lil Wayne had and Rep talked about Cash Money Records. That's his label. Jeffrey's friends in Cleveland Avenue,
Cleveland.
they call themselves YSL. Because on the pants, the tight-fitting pants, the women's pants that they're wearing, it says YSL, Yves Saint Laurent. That's where that comes from.
No, come on, man. Come on, man. That is ridiculous. Shout out Wavy Rich in the chat, man. Trap Law Ross, he's asking me where my name comes from. It just means law is folklore, so it's folklore from the trap, and my name is actually Ross. People say, is that my real name? It actually is, bro. Appreciate you, Wavy Rich. You know what I'm saying? You're a good guy. Good guy. But bro, this is absolutely wild. I'm just gonna react to a couple more things and I'm gonna hop off because it's been a long one. But look, this one was crazy. This one was crazy, alright? The state was saying that when Thug said 24 million on a dude head, he was talking about putting a bounty or a hit on somebody, but in reality, Thug was talking about the $24 million diamond. So apparently, Thugger Daily, Super Snitch, actually sent this into the defense team, the reverse snitch.
Next, YSL World Kid. You click. It is. The police.
It's crazy. So apparently, what was the explanation for wipe your nose? Like, did they even have an explanation for that? I don't think they did. But it's absolutely ridiculous, man. I hope that you know, totally homosexual and useless gangster, aka Thug, is released soon. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, if you've got nice clothes and you've hung out with Elton John and Ed Sheeran, you can't possibly have committed a crime. But that's it. That's the summary of everything that happened in the first week of the Young Thug trial. I know I maybe didn't cover everything in the perfect way. I probably could have arranged things a little bit better. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be working on my streams. I'm going to be improving. We did have 1,000 live viewers watching consecutively. That's probably a record for me. I don't think I've ever had over 1,000. So I wasn't really paying attention to the numbers. But I just want to say I appreciate everybody for checking in, man. That was very fun. A lot of that information, that was me getting a lot of that information for the first time. I hadn't been keeping up with it. I wanted to go through it with you guys on stream. I will try and make a little bit more time for streams going forward for you guys. But yeah, man, it's been absolutely crazy. It's been a crazy way to catch up with the YSL case. Maybe I'll do this every week. Maybe I'll keep everything that's going on and then do sort of like an end of week summary of like all the big cases. But I'm trying to stream every day in December, man. I'm trying to have something for you guys every single day. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. And I know everybody's complaining about that they're not able to rewind this and they're not seeing the DVR. But let me see the live chat. But this is going to be uploaded on the Clips channel. I'll upload this like tomorrow or the next day. So I'll get all this popping for you guys. But thank you so much for checking in. It's very fun to catch up and roast some of that trial. Absolutely ridiculous. Basically, like, I'll keep it real with you. Basically, it's unclear. Like, nothing substantial has been said from either side yet. And I'll be honest with you. The most compelling thing that I saw in the entire thing was the fact that that they said that Young Thug posted on his Instagram, "We don't do no talking," like 7 days before Nut got killed. I know people saying, "Oh, that's not enough evidence," but like, that's the sort of connection that I find quite interesting. So let's see how the next week of the trial goes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Thugger Daily on Twitter for doing the amazing journalism on this. I'm just a lazy piece of shit, just reading these tweets and cashing in on it. But you know what? It's a bit of fun, and I appreciate everybody that checked in. Until next time, see you guys in a bit.